Today we're continuing work on my new laundry room and bathroom. Alright guys, so last time you saw I installed all the drywall and did all the drywall finishing, so I'm glad that is over, and now gets to be some of the more fun parts. I get to do all of the painting, we get to do flooring, pick out the vanity, get some final light fixtures in, and then we'll do doors. But first, like I said, we got to do primer and paint. And so I will be doing a fresh coat on my ceiling out here in my living space. As you can see, it is a little discolored. So it's a great time to get another coat on the ceiling. And I will be doing all of the walls, obviously, that are new here. I am gonna have to touch up some area here. So it's going to be just a pure white primer on everything first. And then I've got a lot of color swatches I did not choose yet. I've got some blues and grays to think about these walls and inside the bathroom and inside the laundry room. So primer and paint is up first, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so we are all finished up on this project. That was about a month of work in this video, so I want to quickly review everything I did. First up, we painted. I got this ceiling done here in the whole living room. You can no longer see those yellow joints, so I'm happy with that. Then of course I had to redo the hallway anyway, so I just carried it right over there, kept that white. Then for the outer walls here, I chose to match what I did on the outside of the bedroom. I kind of like the way that looks with the wood trim, and goes pretty good with this concrete floor as well. So that is what I would call a medium gray. Definitely not as dark as my kitchen wall over there. So then inside the bathroom and the laundry room, I kept it in the same family of gray, but I went one shade lighter because both these rooms were kind of small. I didn't want them to get too dark. So you can kind of tell that's one shade lighter than what is on the outside here. Next up, I went ahead with flooring. So this was the first time I ever did flooring. This is a LVP luxury vinyl plank flooring that snaps together. It did go together really smooth because of how small these rooms are. There's only room for like one full plank here, and then you have to cut. And then I also staggered the joints. So it's just a lot of cutting for these rooms. If you had a larger room, it would seem to go a little quicker. But overall, very pleased with how that came out in both rooms. Kind of like a gray tone with a little bit of brown tone wood look. And then I was able to find these transition strips. They were not even sold by the same company, but they did match pretty well. So I did those same strips at both locations to transition to the concrete. And once the flooring was done, I got to work on the shower fixtures in here. They went on pretty smoothly. As you saw, I had to put that piece of brass pipe on for the tub spout. You have to get that kind of the exact right length so that when you then thread the spout on, it sits correctly and seals up. And then pretty straightforward installing the handle here on the valve. You just follow the manufacturer instructions and then basically just screw on the shower head, so that all works great. And then I did have to do a good bit of caulking here around the shower. As you saw in the previous video, I left a gap here for caulk. I had that L bead here, and then I had to feather it out with my drywall. So that is what I filled in with caulk. It did end up looking pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with how that was. Had to go then the whole way around the top here as well. And then these shower walls were actually 4 separate pieces, so they want you to caulk all of those seams, so down every corner, and then where it meets the tub as well. And then here where the flooring met the tub, I used a piece of quarter round that is PVC, and I caulked that to the tub. Next up, I got the doors hung. I did it in the same way that I did the other doors when I did the bedroom. So basically I hang the hinge side first without the door installed, and then I put the door on to secure the rest of the frame. And I do use a combination of construction screws and finish nails to hang the doors, just to give me a nice solid connection there. And then for the pocket door, I didn't really show this, but pretty basic. As you hang the door at the top here, you basically install some brackets on the top of the door that then latch into bolts that hang down from the track. So that went in pretty smoothly. It's a little tight to get it in there, especially once you have the trim on, but I was able to do it. And so that slides nicely and works exactly how I wanted it to. And next I got the light fixtures hung. So I found this fixture that I liked. It has actually 3 of the, I guess they're kind of like candle bulbs in there. And I like the way that one looked for this hallway. And it is on this dimmer switch, so I can dim it down. That's kind of cool at night. Gives a cool effect on the ceiling. And then in here above the vanity, I installed a 3 bulb fixture. That went in pretty smoothly. And I used those Edison bulbs because I think they look kind of cool. I did go down to 40 watt for these because when I had 360s in here, it was just too bright. And here is the vanity that I installed. So it's a 36-inch vanity. Pretty standard, so it was off the shelf. I got it in the store, and it did come with a top, but as you saw, the top was not installed, so I had to install that. And you could see in the video, before I installed this, I did cut out a little bit of the drywall in that section. Since the corner was built up a little bit from the mud, I couldn't get the top to sit nicely that I would have a nice edge to caulk. So I basically cut it out so that I could get it all flush up against the wall and then flush up against the back wall so that then I could have this nice edge to caulk. So I actually caulked the whole way down the side, across the top, and I could install a couple inch backsplash there, but for now I'm just leaving it. I like the way it looks like this. Also got my fixtures installed here. That's pretty straightforward, just following the instructions. Underneath here I do have, that is the vent right there. So it was a little tight here with the drawers and where the plumbing was, but I got it figured out and it drains perfectly. So once I had all that done, I could get to work on the trim. There was a good bit of trim in this project. And for the bathroom, I ended up just painting the trim white to just try something different than the rest of the house. And I do like the way that looks, especially against that gray and the flooring. So we've got white all in the bathroom. Around the door, I used a little narrower trim. And that's because back behind here, I knew I wouldn't have enough room for a full piece. So I just kept it narrow the whole way around, and it looks pretty clean. And then for outside, to match the rest of the house out here, I did the stained and polyurethane trim. So like I said, there was a lot because of all these doorways, and there ends up being a lot of wood in this hallway, but I do like the way that looks. And I did take the time to actually go around and fill all the holes with the paint matched putty that Minwax sells. So that looks a lot cleaner because you don't see those little nail holes, and from where you cut, you can clean up sections that maybe tore off where you cut for a really clean finish. And then around here at the pocket door, this was a more unique setup because I needed obviously a much wider piece here. And then these ones were actually much narrower. So there's a narrow one here and here. And it's not a standard size, so I actually had to rip those down on a table saw. And that goes the same for the pieces up top here too. And once I had all the trim finished up, I could install the toilet. I waited to do that because I knew trim had to go behind it. So I did that as the last thing. That went in very smoothly, first toilet I ever installed. I did get the higher one because it's a little bit more comfortable, and also the ovalized for the same reason. And then some of the finishing touches in here, obviously got a toilet paper holder. I went with kind of black accents with the fixtures and the pulls on the cabinets. Found this mirror that has a nice black frame on it. I got the matching towel rack holder and just installed these hexagonal shelves above the toilet. That wall was just kind of empty without anything on it, so I got some shelves in there. I installed this curved curtain rod because this is a standard 30-inch width, and without a curved curtain rod, it gets to be pretty narrow in there, especially if your shower curtain comes in on you at all. So that makes it pretty nice to have a lot more space in there. I think this one gives you an extra 10 inches or something like that. So yeah, it's not bad at all when you're showering inside. And then here in the linen closet, I just installed some shelves. So I got these standard brackets that you can buy. You can get those in different lengths. So up here at the top, I actually went with a narrower shelf, and that's so that I could fit something up in, because I have actually a lot of room up there because of how high my ceilings are. So I have a little narrower one on the top, but the rest are larger. Left a big space here at the bottom for storage. I did leave some space here too so that I could store like brooms and things in this area. And so these shelves are actually just some scrap 1/2-inch plywood I had that I painted on all sides with some white paint. But yeah, this ended up being a lot of space in here. I'm glad I decided to make this a linen closet. And then over here in the laundry, I didn't do anything yet, but I may put a bench in this area, and then I can also, of course, put some hooks on the wall for some coats. Now this project took right around 3 months to complete, and that's doing mostly only on nights and weekends. So it did take a lot longer than the bedroom here. The bedroom probably took about a month. And then in total, I think I spent right around $6,000. Some of that was buying tools because I never did plumbing before, I never did flooring before, so I did have to buy a few tools as well. So if you're looking at just materials, it was probably a little closer to $5,500. And in comparison, this bedroom was more like $1,500. And you know, I didn't do any plumbing and only a little bit electrical in the bedroom. So of course there was all the plumbing, and then buying all of the fixtures, buying the bathtub, the walls, the toilet. Vanities are not cheap. Obviously the flooring alone was something like $500 or $600. So just a lot more cost involved doing a bathroom. And of course this was also a lot larger. This is about a 14.5 foot wall here by 8 feet this way. So for reference, both rooms are roughly 8 feet by 8 feet. All in all, I'm extremely pleased with how everything came out. I would say the most challenging part was doing all of this drywall. Just so many corners and smaller pieces in comparison to my last project. So doing all of the mud took so long. I did really enjoy doing all the framing. That's always a fun part for me because you can get to see what it's going to look like and it seems like you get a lot done in a short period of time in comparison to when you're doing the electrical and plumbing. It kind of just takes a long time to get that stuff done. And then also it was really fun to do all of the finishing, picking out all the fixtures and the flooring and just really making it look good right at the end. And now just to give you guys a little better feel for what the new setup is like, here I'm going to be entering in from the garage and we will be entering into now the new laundry and mudroom. And then here I've got the pocket door that I can close when I have the washer or dryer running to keep the noise from the living space. And then if you come in here, my original bedroom is behind this door, and I did set this wall in such a way that that door can kind of sit pretty far over, so it's out of the way when you walk through here. And this is the bedroom that I built last year on my channel. And so here is the new hallway if you're coming in from my bedroom. This light switch controls the new hall light that is centered over the linen closet. I've got the linen closet right here, and then here is the new bathroom. And then looking out into the rest of my living space, this wall is back further than this wall. So that kind of provides this space here that I could put a dining table in the middle of if I had a lot of people over and needed the space. But for now I have my dining table here against the couch. And then here is the new walls, so you can kind of see, get a feel for this space. It did not make it feel any smaller. I think it kind of made it a little bit more cozy, less like a huge open room that echoed. Now I just have basically my kitchen and living combo here. And like I said, eventually I think I'm going to move my refrigerator onto this wall here and then add some more cabinets in this corner, which will give me a little more prep space and cabinet space. But for now, the fridge does function fine in this area. Of course, I could not fit any larger of a fridge right there. And now walking out into my living room, you can get a feel for the new space now that I have the additional bathroom and laundry room. All right, so that's gonna be it for this project. This was a lot of work, but I think it's definitely worth it. Now I have a full dedicated bathroom for guests, and I also have my laundry separated to isolate the noise, and this will be a good area for hanging coats and keeping dirt in there. So definitely let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you want to see next on the channel.